damage, if the government really runs into trouble, Governor, say March 1st, it begins to creep along the real implications where we don't have the adequate defense spending moving out through the pipeline. We really do have a lot of shutdowns and people being laid off. I guess it helps the president because he has already started to point the finger at a leaderless Republican Party. They don't have a spokesman to come out and say, it's not us. But overall, doesn't it bring down the morale of the country and thereby hurt the president as well, or more so? I'm just wondering how you divide this out in terms of calamity.
I think in the long term, you're right, Chris. It does. In the long term, it doesn't benefit the president. And Michael's right about one thing. We have not had serious discussions about dealing with our debt problem for the next 2-3 decades, and we've got to do that. But time's running out, and we're not going to do that in the next 8 days. And the president did hold out the olive branch where he said, let's do a smaller package of cuts and revenue enhancements that he said wouldn't kick the can down the road. But in fact, it would kick the can down the road, but it's a whole lot better than shutting the government down. And where the Republicans are in a hole is the basic revenue increase that the Democrats are talking about is the rule that says anyone who makes more than $1 million has to pay a certain amount of taxes regardless. No more loopholes, no more getting out of paying taxes, no more Warren Buffett's paying a lower rate than their secretaries. The American people agree with that by 75–80%. So the Republicans are in an untenable position. No, you didn't do the millionaire's tax. No.
Did we just raise taxes on the top 2%, top 1%?
You did.
Oh, okay. I thought we did.
But with good accountants, and you know this, with good accountants and good tax lawyers,
we got to really stick it to them.
They wind up paying 15%. Not really sticking it to them.
Okay. Wait, Michael, you think we got a fair tax system? Am I hearing an echo of a person defending our tax system? Michael, you honestly saying we don't need tax reform?
Chris, I'm all for tax reform, but none of this is serious right now. This is the same old crazy blame, finger point.
Okay.
No one's getting the job done here.
That's
tax reform, revenue enhancements, spending cuts. Those are the things that need to be on. Where's Simpson Bold Part 2? I mean, they laid out a good plan today.
Michael, here's another version of what you're saying. Here's Boehner talking for Boehner, not you talking for Boehner. Here he is responding to the president's remarks, saying in part, quote, once again, the president offered no credible plan that can pass Congress, only calls for higher taxes. Just last month, the president got his higher taxes on the wealthy. That's what you said, Michael. And he's already back for more. Here's my assessment of what's going on. Back in the early 50s, when the Cold War first got started, if we didn't like a foreign government the way it was doing things, whether it's Guatemala or it's Iran or it's Dominican Republic or it's Chile, we destabilized it. We either knocked off the leader or brought it down some other way through brilliant propaganda. Now we're doing it to our own country. The Republicans are now using tactics. You know that's what they're doing. They're destabilizing the government. The state love to shake and... Go ahead, you can answer. I see it happening every couple months now.
But you act like Republicans aren't small business owners, that they're not school teachers and firefighters and policemen, that they're not as affected by the impact of this government as anyone else is. So the idea that we want to bring down the government is just silly. What we're trying to do is get the government to pay its bills, not spend more than it needs to, check its size, and basically get out of the way of rebuilding this economy. That's all.
Yes, but the Congress people who are shutting the government down are still making their $170 a year, whether the government shuts down or not. It's not the small businessmen voting in Congress. It's these members of Congress who are politicians who think they'll get reelected if they say no to everything.